you young fellers now and hear what I will say. I don't speak of prophecy, don't speak of judgment day. What we do see coming, we have seen it come before. It came for our forefathers, yet we speak of it no more. California, Oregon, and Granger massacre. The iron heel is pressing and will crush you neath their feet. You will see the fires burning, then you'll smell the blood. We will fight our brothers till we're lying in the mud. Come all you young fellers now and hear what I will say. The future of oppression, it was written yesterday. Florida to Alaska, black masses coming down. Factories a-blazing and violence abound. Man maketh machine, he wrote, machine will breaketh man. A tale as old as Moses and a force as old as sand. Come all you young fellers now, and I will say, I don't speak of prophecy, don't speak of judgment day. What we do see coming, we have seen it come before. It came for our forefathers, the iron heel will make no more.
I'm Mat Gleason, and this is Modern Art Blitz. I'm your host, and this is our co-host, Lisa Derrick. Hey, Lisa, how was your week?
My week was pretty good, Matt. How was yours?
Oh, my week was great because I uploaded the first episode of Modern Art Blitz to YouTube. We got a lot of viewers. Things are going great.
This week, I was hoping for some good news items, but we're kind of in the taint of weeks. We're in between holy and happy, you know. Okay, but so I thought we would talk about famous dead people, famous artists who died.
Famous? Well, you know, here's the thing. We normally do This is our news segment.
This is our news
But
segment.
our news segment kind of behooves there being actual news, which doesn't happen between Christmas and New Year's.
The taint week.
So hence, what we're going to talk about today in lieu of news is actually some of the passings that the art world experienced in 2015. Goodbye, 2015. Hello, 2016.
Sweet 16. Here's the thing. Right as we finished taping, the news of Ellsworth Kelly's death came over. So I hope we don't kill anyone else on the show.
Jeez, I don't want that to be a new ritual,
Right.
let me tell you.
Ellsworth Kelly was a painter whose work vitally influenced minimalism, hard-edge painting, color field, and pop art. He was one of the first artists to create irregularly shaped canvases, and his artwork, his replications of shapes and the shadows and other visual sensations he experienced in the world around him were meant to be experienced by the viewer with an instinctive physical response to the structure and color and surrounding space, rather than the usual contextual and interpretive analysis.
Okay. Before we go any further, it's going to take a greater mind
Than mine.
than just mine and yours to deal with the news. And so I want to introduce our first guest, my personal favorite podcaster, author, poet, critic, and and musician, a genuinely all-around guy, good guy, great guy, Michael Phillips.
Matt, it's wonderful to be here in lieu of actual entertainment.
Hello, how are you?
So far, so good.
So where can we listen to your blog, your video blogs, and your podcast?
It's audio.
Audio. Okay, your podcast can be heard.
It can be heard at thisisnotatest.com.
Thisisnotatest.com. Great. Well, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure and privilege. If you'd have asked me a couple days ago, what am I going to be doing on the first weekend of 2016, would I have thought I'm going to be in Mat Gleason's cyberspace talk show? No, I wouldn't have. So this is marvelous, wonderful, and unexpected.
Well, you're here now.
And we are in an Ellsworth Kelly painting, by the way. Color field. Look at this.
They can't look at it because what we've got is we're on a green screen, as evidenced by my toes, which are green. I do not have a club foot.
The reality, if I could just break the
Fourth wall?
The fourth wall. This is all green. So
See, oh, there it is, right there.
see?
Oh no, Mr. Bell, I'm floating!
Okay.
I feel like a weather girl.
Did I
on a
press
bad
that button
day.
or did you?
Your illusions have been
Okay.
shattered.
Back. Okay.
That's
The
it.
Emerald
we
City.
blew the show up.
Right.
Okay.
Now
So
everybody knows what's really going on.
so we're in an Ellsworth Kelly painting, and the late Ellsworth Kelly passed away right near the end of the year, and now Michael, you're tangentially touching the art world, the world of fine art, but you knew who Ellsworth Kelly was, right?
I knew who he was, yes.
I mean, this guy was a big name.
It's a big name.
Big name. He said about his work that the form of my painting is the content. My work is made of single or multiple panels, rectangle, curved, or squared. I am less interested in marks on the panels than the presence of the panels themselves.
That's
Well-
pretty deep, man.
I have a love-hate relationship with artists like Ellsworth Kelly. I wrote a piece about Ellsworth for the Huffington Post, where I often write about art. And the one thing, he made a lot of major developments early on that really changed the course of history and how art is looked at. And then he kind of rested on his laurels for 5 decades, I think. And I wonder if he was he bored with it all? I don't know. It strikes me as, I think he seized upon an amazing moment in the world. But
And then just stayed there.
you know, do you
More or
now?
less.
Do you, I mean, do you see the work as repetitive?
Yeah, I mean that's not something I'm a big fan of in the first place. The color field stuff and the colored rectangles leaning there, just being the art of them just being rather than what's on them. I'd like to see something on them. That's just me. I'm a little different that way. I like my art to be, art instead of just colors.
Even though Kelly said that his work was made to exist forever in the present, his work actually came out of his army service. He was in the camouflage battalion, and that's where he had attended Pratt University and been inducted into the Army during World War II. And with camouflage, you're really working with color as a deception. And so that's where a lot of his influence came from. And then
You're here sleeping. I find that the only interesting thing about the guy so far.
it's his art. And if you want to look at the concept of abstract expressionism and modern art as a CIA tool, which has been propagated. Anyway, let's move on.
It's totally over. You know what? If abstract painting was a CIA tool, it was a failure. So that only makes the CIA. Anybody who goes, the CIA is powerful. It's all controlling. It's after us.
I think it was more about the propaganda that we had an actual art movement that was purely American.
It's incompetent, folks.
Are you saying abstract expressionism is incompetent?
No, I just think that the idea that that the government funded abstract art to show that we were a free society was a failure as far as, that didn't win the Cold War. There were still 40 years to go before the Berlin Wall fell on its own, So, but anyway,
people actually believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, the CIA funded an art show, a traveling art show. And I don't even think it was the CIA. I think it was the Office of Information Services, which is a propaganda wing, but
Right.
Propaganda being what it is. Abstract painting is bad propaganda. Ellsworth Kelly really broke a lot of barriers, but I look at that stuff as his life's output as emblematic of like corporate art. It's like the monolith. And there was a time where I really thought that stuff was amazing and groundbreaking and radical. And I think maybe there's a time in one's development of enjoying art. Maybe we can look at Ellsworth Kelly as a gateway drug. And rest in peace. And he was over 90. And here's my thing. If you make it to 90, it's not that sad. It was like, okay, so.
He had a good run.
But, there wasn't a lot of art news. So we're talking about...
These are people who died.
We're talking about the people who died in 2015 because it's
The
early
artists.
2016. We're filming this. It's January 3rd, 2016 for you art historians who've uncovered us in a time capsule.
Well, you know who else died? Chris Burden, the legendary performance and installation artist. He died in May. And his groundbreaking works of performance art included Transfixed, in which he was nailed to a VW bug, and of course his infamous 1974 piece Shoot, in which Burden's assistant shot the artist in an arm with a 22 millimeter rifle, something that has been copied more than once since then.
Well, Chris Burden, I look at, if you wanted to compare Ellsworth Kelly or Chris Burden to me, a giant whose influence is still only beginning, whereas Ellsworth Kelly literally started and crested and went and moved on from the world that he created. I think Chris Burden, what he did in just changing our ideas of form alone was, a fascinating, he really was a giant and really, really raised the bar, I think. Michael, were you a fan of Chris Burden's?
I was a fan of anybody that gets shot for art. Although a 22 in the arm, that's kind of a lame move. That's like a bee sting, honestly. I could shoot you in the ass with a 22. You'd say, ow, we'd pull it out, we'd move on. What's more interesting to me about him is all the controversy that came later there was some kind of controversy about him. I remember reading about him in your paper all the time, reading about him in the LA Weekly all the time. Guys seem to always be getting up somebody's nose, right?
He had a way of upsetting people, personally and professionally. Well, to me, that's a boundary pusher. That's an artist who's really trying to, who's really breaking through. And I think Chris Burden had many, many major pieces. The day he died, I found out about it. I started writing down, the top 10 Chris Burden pieces, and I could think of, off the top of my head, without looking around on the internet, I could think of 30 pieces. Okay, can you name 30 Ellsworth Kelly pieces? Blue square, green curve. Yeah, you could improvise, and you'll probably be right. Tangerine octagon. I don't know, but meanwhile, you have Chris Burden is out there. First off, in addition to performance, for the last 30 years of his career was almost entirely sculptural, and a lot of it interactive, a lot of it very intense, and he had many great pieces.
Urban Light at LACMA, our most iconic Los Angeles artwork, really.
Yes, out in front of LA, out in front of the LA County Museum of Art. You've been there, right?
Yeah, everybody goes just to dance under the lights.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll see 2 or 3 people in like wedding dresses, quinceañeras, tourists. They're all getting their photos taken. And these light posts were repurposed lights from the greater Los Angeles area. And they're solar powered, so they illuminate at dusk.
Yeah, they are all the great lights, the street lights from LA from different eras. Mm-hmm. And what's weird is Chris Burden is the last guy who would be iconic. He was such a cantankerous,
and this is
crusty old bastard.
It's a very sentimental piece. It's very sentimental, and so that's so.
Oh, that's a very good way to put it. It's a lost LA. All these street lights representing different historical times, and now, and what's more iconic than LA? Driving on the street with the street lights. I mean, it's a very romantic piece.
It's beautiful,
and yet. Chris Burden was the opposite of this guy was not a romantic.
But he did like his toys.
A great toy that at LACMA also has a piece.
Metropolis 2?
Metropolis 2 with the cars driving around. That endless.
Took 2 years to build.
Well, there were the dirt on that was that that was 1/4 the size he wanted to do it, but it cost so much to make, he had to sell it to pay everyone who helped make it. That was the gossip I heard. You tell me if it's true.
And then there was the blimp that flies in perfect circles that was installed originally at Gagosian, his gallery, and on his death, it was moved to LACMA as a tribute to him.
Yeah, it was. That was a bit of a yawner. But
what about at the new museum? It's outside the new museum now, but it was the ghost ship.
Yeah,
it's the yacht that he built that had no crew, and it sailed from Newcastle on Tyne to an island I think Sheffield Island in the North Sea.
I'll tell you a great piece Chris Burden did. My favorite Chris Burden piece is he poured wet concrete, and then he got a giant crane to pick up and drop I-beams directly down into it, and they would just stick there, and then he just sat there and dropped them. So it was randomness, it was chaos, it was a performance, and yet there's this sculpture now of just these random I-beams.
And
leaning.
Where is that?
I don't know where it is specifically. There's a video of it, and there's you can go into some galleries and buy like a drawing, an artist's sketch of the idea. And things, but it's that to me was like a great Chris Burden piece, So you're laughing. Does that sound funny?
I want to know where that is so I can avoid ever seeing it.
Maybe intern Rebecca can Google that for us.
I think we should get the intern on this one. Okay, but where is the location of that? Do you have Google? No. Can you Google where?
Like it should be in Prague. It should be in Prague.
No, I don't think.
Oh no, it's in the USA.
It should be in Prague.
Chris Burden was very American artist. He was very like, it's a big country. We fuck around here. We break shit.
He bought airtime during Watergate, and he came on the air and disclosed his personal wealth. That was a performance piece he did. He was worth $1,054 at the time. That was.
Well, he was worth a lot more when he died. I think one testament to his greatness is he was the first artist represented by Gagosian Gallery. So there's kind of an ominous tone to that. Okay, so moving on. Can you tell us the third, because it's always in threes, right?
No.
Who was the third artist to pass away in 2015?
Leonard Nimoy.
Whoa. Stop. I said artist, not actor. And yes, I am implying, in fact, stating that actors are not artists.
Well, in this case, Leonard Nimoy was an artist.
Hogwash!
No, when he was 14, he built his first darkroom in his home. And after his success on Star Trek and Mission Impossible, he studied photography at UCLA and briefly debated leaving acting to become a professional photographer. One of his exhibitions, Shekinah,
You learn something new every day on Modern Art Blitz.
That's right.
Who knew an actor?
MAB.
That's right.
Who knew that an actor was also an artist?
A controversial artist. One of his shows, Shekinah, was shut down in Detroit and Seattle because it depicted nude women as God.
Well, I'll tell you why that. I acted surprised that he was an artist. I already knew that. I was just doing that for fun and effect.
Whoa, that was good, man.
It was so believable.
You
You are an actor, and that's
an
art.
Well, I'm not an artist. I will tell you this. The reason that that artwork got shut down was not because it depicted goddesses of any faith or culture nude. Let me tell you, the patriarchy loves themselves some naked girls. The problem was it was women with bodies that weren't controlled by men. It was women of a different size, a different scale, a different type of earthy beauty that Leonard Nimoy appreciated.
He did.
Although his wife was pretty thin.
He did, because he did another series of photos called Full Body Project, which celebrated big, beautiful women using dancers from the San Francisco troupe Fat Bottom Girls. And that was published as a book called Full Body Project. Another of his series, which was shown at the Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art and published in book form, was Secret Selves. It took 100 subjects from all walks of life, artists, clergies, politicians, business owners, and he asked them the question, who do you think you are? And they were interviewed, he recorded the interview, and then shot them as their other self.
Well, I think the issue here is, if you're going to make art with big girls, the patriarchy is going to shut you down. Leonard Nimoy, hats off to you. I already took my cap off, but hats off to you. You were an independent artist who saw beauty in your own way. For an actor, you were a pretty good artist. Very low bar there.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah.
What do you mean low bar? You know, a lot of those old school guys were that you saw on TV and in movies. They had their hands in all kinds of different stuff. They were creative in a lot of different ways, right? A lot of those guys, and somebody that like him, that he's got a social conscience. You can tell through a lot of his art. But he is being Spock. That wasn't just a gig to those guys. They weren't like, oh, this is kind of beneath me being Mr. Spock, but I'll do it for a while. They brought everything they could into that.
And actually, Mr. Spock took over aspects of Nimoy's life to the extent that he became an alcoholic while he was filming Star Trek and later went into rehab.
I've never heard that,
either.
And I don't want gossip spread on my show.
It's not gossip. I researched this really carefully.
Hey man, this stopped working.
Right on a Budweiser sign too. We're on the freeway.
Oh no, it worked, but it's green.
This is live. It's just live cyberspace, man.
Yeah,
this is how it works.
Oh, did I fuck it up?
Oh.
You know what? Yeah, it's frozen.
Just give it a minute here. I'll take it.
Okay.
Oh wow, here comes our director.
Thank you,
Hi.
Nolan. That's Nolan, everybody.
Hi, Nolan.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah, just if it freezes, just give it like a 30 count.
A 30 count.
Yeah.
He wants me to host a show and give it a 30 count.
And direct it.
Huh?
And direct it.
You're doing a great job.
And I'm not even in the
I
directors
don't
union.
know. I can't tell if you're doing a good job or not.
Oh,
From here, I can't tell. It looks like it could be a disaster.
Hey, I look good. That's all that matters to me.
I think this is a disaster. But it's great.
I'm going to text family members for their support.
Well, you know, we did get some interesting comments from our viewership. You know,
Fuck our viewership. Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, I meant last week's, not you guys. Okay. So Michael, tell us one more time about This Is Not a Test.
Well, This Is Not a Test is a podcast, which is one of those things that everybody's doing now. You know, the kids, they used to have blogs, and then the kids, they moved on to the podcast. So I'm always in touch with what the kids are doing. I like to follow the kids. I watch the kids. Kids start a podcast, so do I. If that means throwing the blog away, throw it away. Who cares? Who cares about a blog? That's so 20th century. You have a blog. You got to get with it, man. You got to get. Well, you're on TV now.
We're in cyberspace.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff?
Cyber TV, please.
What kind of stuff do you talk about?
Well, Matt's been on This Is Not a Test. Carol's been on, interviewed those guys, but it's not really. It kind of started out as that. I was going to talk to a lot of people, do a lot of stuff, you know, do a lot of cultural stuff. And what it's kind of turned into is more of a kind of a psychotic 30-minute rant every week about whatever's happening, whatever's interesting. To me, it's become something that probably nobody should listen to. I say this for your own, you know, safety. Don't listen to it. Don't go to thisisnotatest.com and listen to any of those. They're terrible.
No. Did you ever have Lemmy from Motorhead on?
I didn't have Lemmy from Motorhead on, but I talked about him yesterday, the one that came out yesterday, because Lemmy is one of the last of a dying breed. You think they make rock stars now? They don't make rock stars now. They made rock stars in the 70s, right? And there haven't been any since then. Once that species is extinct, they're going to be gone.
I think Lemmy was the furthest thing from the art world that existed on Earth, and yet his authenticity certainly is as inspirational as a lot of art.
But this is the thing that there was one of the things that I was talking about on this most recent episode, is that people, after you're dead, they claim to love that, or even when you're alive, they claim to love somebody who's outspoken and they're always controversial and they say what they want, they do what they want. Everybody says they love that, but in real life, they really don't love that so much. They kind of tend to shy away from that and stay clear of those kind of people, and then they're celebrated after they're dead when they're safely in the ground. But that happens with a lot of outspoken people. The same thing happened to.
It's happened to me.
It happened to Matt. People celebrate you. They'll say, "Oh, Matt, he's a great guy. He's very outspoken." I remember this a few years ago when you got the gallery started, and everybody started saying, "Oh, no, the terrible Mat Gleason. Now he's part of the establishment. Now he's got his gallery going. Now he's a good guy." This is the same guy. This guy's the same guy he's always been.
Fucking sellout.
There's no sellout there. The point is that people love that stuff in the abstract. They don't love it so much in real life. So when I hear people saying, "Oh, everybody's, you know, praising Lemmy, everybody's gesticulating before the Rainbow Room or wherever the hell he was," I don't think those people really got Lemmy. I don't think they understood him. I don't think they would have been on his side in real life. I think there's a lot of people that come out after the fact and pile onto those kind of
Fair
people.
weather friends.
Yeah, you know, with their CBGB T-shirt and their.
This is an example of why I had Michael Phillips on the show, in addition to the fact that he drove our other guest here today.
I'm like an Uber. I'm the Uber guest.
You're the Uber of our guests.
You're the Uber Mensch guest.
No, but This Is Not a Test is a great podcast because it actually takes not the reflexive contrarian view, but it takes a different perspective on a lot of the events of the day and what's on your mind. And I also liked what you had to say about the CBG movie. I felt the same way. It was a fun movie. Don't take it too seriously. It wasn't a documentary. So anyway, so check out Michael Phillips on his podcast, This Is Not a Test. Michael, thanks so much for joining us here on Modern Art Blitz today. We have some wonderful parting gifts for you. Nowhere.
I got the basket in the green room.
You got the basket in the green room is somebody else's. Don't take it home. I don't want to get anybody mad at me. So, all right, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So now we have a commercial sponsor on this show, Ling's Wine and Beer, Ling's Market. You know what? You have to. This is our intern, Rebecca.
Hi,
and Rebecca is here to do the commercial, to pay the bills.
Very true.
Rebecca, but hey, Rebecca, there's a very special day coming up. Rebecca, your birthday is? Tomorrow.
Yep.
And
how old will you be?
I'll be 20.
You'll be 20. So you're not actually old enough to drink everything at Ling's.
No.
But you can drink the soda.
I could drink the soda.
oh wait, I'm wondering about the legality of having a spokesperson for a beer and wine store who is not 21. This might not have been my...
Oh, wait, it's 2016. I'm actually turning 22 tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
Math is hard. That's not your major, is it?
No,
Quick
it's
thinking.
not.
My
Stick
intern
with the
thinks
arts.
quicker than me. All right, so intern Rebecca.
Started off. All right. Did you know that Ling's Market has been furnishing beer and wine to Chinatown since 1974?
I learned that from your commercial last week.
Good.
Yes.
Good. I was testing you.
Okay.
We have a fine selection of beers and 3 varieties of wine, white, red, and rosé. Our beer and wine are delicious, and once you buy beer and wine from Ling's Market, you will laugh at the people who shop at Trader Joe's with the confidence of a true elitist.
Okay.
Please enjoy our fine beverages responsibly, or you don't want to anger Mr. Ling at all.
You don't want to anger
Mr.
Ling.
Mr. Ling at all.
No. Keep him happy.
And the address for that, so you could come stop by and possibly be a guest on this lovely show, is 974 Chongqing Road in Chinatown.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, intern. And also I wanted to ask you, you're an intern
Yes, I am.
at the art gallery
Yes,
because
I am.
you're an art major,
Art history
art history,
With a minor in marketing.
and studio art.
and studio art. Now, you had a very, very first in your art career this week. What was that?
Oh, I painted with oil paint the first time this week, and that was a lot of fun.
How long did it take to dry?
It's still wet, so
Her first oil painting is still wet. I'm just going to let that sink in.
That's what she said.
Okay. Without further ado, we're here to shop at Ling's, right?
oh yes.
Yeah, we're here to shop.
And what's your last line there?
Oh, and we have soda pop for the kids too at
Wait,
Ling's
here, let me get the
Market.
camera. Say that again.
We have soda pop for the kids too.
All right. So, okay, Rebecca, our intern. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rebecca.
All right. Our next guest is a fabulous longtime fixture in the Southern California art world. She's shown in many group shows and solo shows at fine galleries around the globe. Well, I know around Southern California. We're going to interview her and find out if she's shown around the globe. So let's give a warm Modern Art Blitz recommendation? No.
Welcome.
A warm Modern Art Blitz welcome to the world famous
And talented.
Carol S. Hi, Carol, welcome.
Hi, Matt.
Got your
Welcome.
microphone on?
I don't know what's going on
I
here.
was on a TV show where they take your microphone and they would put it up in the shirt to
I'm
pretend
going to
that
sit
it
on
wasn't
one
real.
foot
You're going to sit on one foot. Well,
and
there you
balance
go.
this way.
All right.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
You're
it's
so
good
tall.
to see you.
It's good to see you.
Okay, and while we're interviewing you, we're going to have the artist Vicki Barkley sketch the interview.
Wow.
Oh,
Very
little back,
cool.
there you go.
Vicky does great plein air sketches. She did one, she did 2 actually for Homeboy Industries 5K run charity
Nice.
art show. So, and I've seen a lot of her work. I love it.
So Carol,
Ah.
and you know our co-host Lisa Derrick,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
I met Lisa.
Yes. we
Yes.
know.
Okay, so Carol, you are. How long have you been exhibiting in the LA art scene?
Oh, a long eons of time. Probably 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Most people, I'm thinking, they give up. They take their paintbrush and they go home.
Yeah, most people do, unfortunately. That's too bad, but
And so what makes you a survivor? Besides, of course.
Because I am a survivor.
But the benefit of success does help, yes?
No.
No?
Because, I mean, of all of that, there's mostly rejection, as you know. From being around artists, I'm sure you know that most of that road is paved with rejection.
And
it's not like success, and you keep growing over those 25 years, and it's just, you get to the top of the heap, and you go, I am victorious. That's not how it works at all.
Well, then what the fuck are we doing here?
I don't know. Let's all shoot ourselves.
So despite the rejection, though, you've carved out a career. You made a name for yourself, or
yeah.
You're...
I mean, that took like the latter part of maybe 10 years, probably.
Okay. So there was 15 years of struggle there.
Yeah, I mean, even the last 10 years of struggle, but I would say the first 10 to 15 years was nothing but struggle. Nothing but struggle.
So did you, in that time, did you ever want to just give up?
I've had days and hours of wanting to give up, but no, not
But
really.
never an actual giving up.
No.
Because I know people who've like sold the blank canvases, sold the paintbrushes, thrown everything out, and then said, no, fuck it, I'm going to start again and get the stuff. You never went that far?
Never went that far.
You've been consistent?
Been consistent.
And your studio's in Alhambra, right?
Alhambra,
and
yeah.
You live and work in the same place?
Yeah, I used to have studios outside, and then I couldn't afford it anymore, and then I actually prefer to work where I live anyway.
You like to just get up?
Stay in my pajamas.
Encounter the... Oh, okay, well there's often the hygiene issue is a major...
Yeah, I do have a hygiene problem.
Major art world setback for those.
I haven't noticed it. I'm sitting right next to you.
For those of
that's
you with
why
a
I'm
home
really
studio.
Tucked into the side of the couch, though.
And do you work in oil or acrylic or?
Oil, mostly. Yeah, oil and collage. So there's collage, there's paper, there's fabric, and then there's oil on top of that, but not on top of all of it, because then the oil seeps through the paper and the fabric, so you have to kind of go around it really carefully.
What are the themes you're dealing with?
Mostly, tragedy. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, you mean in the art?
Just a barrel of laughs
you mean
today.
in the art?
I meant in the art. Not sitting at the not sitting at the breakfast table. You don't have to be an artist to be miserable.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying now. What kind of themes am I dealing with? Well, lately, just mostly abstract landscapes, mostly.
What what landscapes inspire you the most?
Desert stuff.
You like the desert?
Yeah, really into Joshua Tree.
Have you ever thought to live there?
Yeah, I'm gonna die there.
Well, you have to
On an
live
art
there
outing?
for a little while before you get to die
well,
there.
at the end of my life, I'm planning on being there. Yeah, like I'm gonna retire there. How's that? I shouldn't say I'm gonna die there, but that's kind of ultimately what you do when you retire. You kind of live there for a little while, and then you fade out, and kind of become a raisin.
Okay, so you have a show up. I mean, we're taping this.
Yeah.
It's January of 2016, and you have since early December of 2015. You've had a show up at
Craig Kroll Gallery
And
in Santa Monica.
at Bergamont Station, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's up
awesome.
until the 16th of January.
And how's the reception been so far?
A lot of people really like it.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I actually have an artist talk. We have to talk about that.
You have an artist talk coming
and
up
when is
on
your artist talk?
That's next Saturday, the 9th,
The 9th
at 10:30 a.m.
in Santa Monica. Will there be coffee and donuts?
Yes, there'll be coffee and donuts. How did you know?
I'm psychic. That's why
my
Matt has
God.
me on the show.
Oh my God, she is psychic.
She answered her own question. Did you notice that?
I love her. Where'd you find her?
Just
Like in one of those old Kodak booths that become like psychic medium.
she works at the parking lot in Chinatown.
I do not. I worked the parking lot in China.
She worked over the guy. He did not get his $5 from her today.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did?
I gave him the $5.
Man, he's you gotta cheapskate that.
He wants to marry me.
Oh God. Well, okay. Well, if you're gonna work
you're
that,
lucky.
okay.
And he's
could get discounts.
got 2 French bulldogs. And he wants to take me to Hawaii on his honeymoon.
Do you know that like psychically?
No,
or
this
do
is
you
what
know?
he's
Okay.
told me. I don't think it's going to work.
No.
No, my cat doesn't like French bulldogs.
Oh.
So tell us, without giving away, like for those of us who don't get up at 10:30 in the morning and drive to
I
Santa
know.
Monica.
I don't either.
Well, oh jeez.
Oh my gosh, are you going to get a motel for the night?
Out
Before?
Santa Monica, drive from the east side.
You could get a houseboat.
I could get a houseboat and just sail around from where?
You could do it by Skype from your pajamas in front of your cereal bowl.
I think I should, do Craig the favor of showing up.
Yeah.
Since he gave me a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's working with Craig?
It's great.
Yeah.
He's really a really great guy. He's like the most like genuine, upfront, no frills, really cool person guy to
Wow.
work with. Yeah, I'm really happy working
And see,
with
it
him.
was interesting because when you started showing Craig Kroll, a lot of people were thinking like, oh, well, that's not necessarily a gallery. They look at that as a gallery that shows a lot of veteran LA artists, and yet I looked at it as an aesthetic choice of the dealers. It made sense to me because you've got artists like Lynn Folk showing there, and I definitely see an affinity with your work and his.
Yeah,
So-
he's so LA though. He's
Yeah.
like a total like LA. He's all about like the nooks and crannies of LA and artists that. I mean, he shows people that are like non-LA artists too. But he's really into the LA narrative. Like he's really into that, and I like that about
Do you
him.
consider yourself to be a part of the LA narrative?
I do totally.
The great LA narrative? What's your favorite part of Los Angeles?
All of it.
Are you a native?
I am a native. I was born and raised here, and I've
Where'd you
lived in
grow up?
almost every single neighborhood. Every neighborhood.
You've really moved around.
I've moved around.
You grew up in the Valley, right?
I've lived in the Valley. I
Okay.
grew up a lot in the Valley. I've lived in East Hollywood, not West Hollywood, but I've lived in like all the little like South LA, South Hollywood.
When I met you, or when I first got to know you, I'd always known of you.
Yeah,
but,
well, I knew of you before you knew
Yeah,
of
we
me.
both knew.
Yeah.
You knew. That's a very LA thing to know of somebody,
Right.
and then to know
the
them.
Onyx days, I knew you.
Oh,
but
God,
you-
the Onyx.
But
Oh.
you didn't know.
Onyx.
But you didn't really know me.
Dark days.
The dark days. The Onyx was a cafe in Los
days.
Feliz before Los Feliz was fabulous.
Yes.
And so many Anthony Ausgang showed there.
Yep.
Who else showed there?
I
Oh,
showed there.
Manuel,
showed there?
Carol S. showed there. Manuel Ocampo showed there. A
Oh,
great
my
painter.
God.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
he
painters.
became big.
Beck used to hang. Beck
Beck?
played guitar
Yeah,
there.
I knew Beck.
You know,
Started out in one little storefront. It
and
expanded.
they expanded
to
the
two.
second storefront. When they made smoking illegal in restaurants, he rented the storefront next to him, so everybody could go. You could buy the coffee, walk out, go in, and smoke in there.
Right.
In the smoking room.
Yeah. So that was back in the glory days, kids.
It was.
Yeah.
Back when the streets were paved with freedom.
With gold and coffee.
So you like all these neighborhoods in LA? You grew up in LA. Where'd you go to high school?
I didn't go to high school.
You didn't.
Isn't that so LA?
So that's.
There's a
Do you wanna
story
go
there. You're not
into
going to get
it?
away with. Come on.
we only have so much time.
Oh, come
that
on,
I didn't go
don't
to
be
high
shy.
school. I left when I was 14, so I had to get a job, and I did try to go to high school. I went to some continuation for a little while, and then I didn't.
Now,
And then,
were you always an artist?
yeah, I guess I always was.
But you've also been involved in a lot of music, right?
Yeah, I was a musician. Probably before I was an artist. I
Before
was
you were a visual
musician.
artist, you were a musician.
Yeah.
Now, so you've known a lot of musicians in your life,
Oh yeah.
and you've known a lot of artists in your life.
Yeah.
Like, who's more fun to hang around with? Visual artists or musicians?
Musicians.
Musicians are more fun to hang around with?
Well, yeah.
Really? Why? Because
Yes.
is it always a party with them?
Well, it's just a no-brainer.
I mean, I'm a writer, so I don't have a horse in this race. I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, first of all, there's a camaraderie with musicians that there isn't with visual artists. Visual art is a very solitary endeavor, and there's
very depressed, lonely figures.
Yeah, well, it's not just that, but there's more of a camaraderie with musicians because you work together and you're always wanting to jam together or play together, or you're more like a team. There's not a competition going on.
Maybe artists could start doing that.
Artists would never
Well,
do that.
you've got street artists who do that. They come together as crews to do
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
more,
and they
a
make
little
the
bit
same.
more of that.
They make the same mural every time,
No.
and it's like amateur hour.
No.
But there's a little bit more of a collaborative effort with that.
I think that there's a lot of potential for collaboration with great artists. The problem is when you have a lot. It's like, okay, when you're a musician, when you're a great musician, you kind of have to collaborate with great musicians, right? Am I
You
on?
should always play with someone who's better or the same, or preferably somebody who's better than you.
Exactly.
Because that makes you.
You want to work at a
better
higher level, but it
musician.
doesn't work that way in the visual arts because everyone's an artist. You know.
But in group shows, don't you want to show with someone who's at your level or
Yeah,
better?
of course. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to say that out loud, but of course,
There's an old
you
saying.
want somebody who is, at least has the same resume as you, maybe.
There's an old saying. I'm going to say it to the camera. When you as an artist are the biggest name in the group show, you shouldn't have been in that group show.
And you know what? Only Mat Gleason will say that. It's kind of true.
Yeah.
Only you'll tell the truth.
You don't want
in
to
this
be the
town.
coolest person at the party.
So when-
Because then at the parties there aren't any cool people there.
So when
right?
and how did you start painting?
I kind of, I started in watercolors when I was like 15, 14. I got really serious when I was 16 because I had to sell art. So I was down in Venice selling little cartoon watercolors.
On the boardwalk?
Yeah, on the boardwalk.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's not
That's
amazing.
hard. No, but
No,
I mean, that's
I mean,
hard.
well, I
It's
think
not
what's
amazing when you need a
No, but
McDonald's hamburger.
No, but what's amazing is that most of those artists are kind of kitschy and trite and never really go anywhere, especially within the substructure of the art world. And yet,
Right,
you've really moved on and become a big name.
Yeah, I mean, it really was for food. I was really doing it for survival reasons.
And you never went to art school.
No.
No?
I would have liked to, though.
You would have liked to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I could have because I don't think I have the thick skin for it. Back then, I was really shy and introverted or whatever. But I think it probably would have helped me with that had I gone.
Okay. You would have learned to talk in theory language, right?
No, here's the thing. This is the only thing that I think that people in art school got that I didn't get, and that's not just guidance, but getting what's the word? I can't find the word now. But just knowing that you did the right thing instead of going around and being in the dark and not knowing
But you are doing the right thing. I mean,
but not knowing having some kind of push one way or the other. I never was able to get that corroboration or whatever.
You're a lot further in your career than many, many people who went to art school because of your talent and your drive.
Right, but in the dark, working in the dark.
Do you have drive?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think it's more important for an artist to have drive or art school education?
Well, they need drive, but they need some certainty, and I didn't have that certainty. You know what I'm
The
saying?
comfort of certainty.
Right.
Some
Certainty's a
comfort of
comfort.
certainty would have been
Right.
nice.
But
yeah.
but that comfort may have left you
Complacent?
complacent.
Yeah, okay, well,
And
I don't think so.
okay. Well, life isn't a reproducible experience.
That's
You
true.
know,
That's
so
true.
but your success is your proof that your life that is where it's supposed to be. I mean, you've got a wonderful career. You're incredibly talented. You've got a show. And tell us about your art talk.
She's just here for the compliment.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
Lisa
like
Derrick
her.
is our compliment
take
machine.
I want to take her home with me.
Well, you know what? There's a long line of people in LA who, let me tell you, if you get to the back of the line of that, you're going to be in it for years. So,
Scoot over a little bit more.
so let's find out.
See, I'm not
Carol,
scared.
have you ever delved into your work? I've always seen your work as having a very strong conceptual foundation. Like you have an idea behind each work. There are absolute meanings for the visual language that you use. Do you consider your work to be conceptual? Have you ever done a pure abstract painting? I'm curious of like where are the real outliers in your art?
Yeah, there is a lot of conceptual stuff underneath it, even though it's playful on top. It's really conceptual underneath, but I still want like the viewer. I'm still making work for a viewer, so I want the viewer to have their own, their own experience and their own. Whatever that I don't want to spoon feed anybody anything. I just want them to have their own experience. And
so if somebody comes up and says, "Oh, this is painting. Look at this painting. It's about this and about that," and they're 180 degrees wrong, you don't care.
No, I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't care.
The fact that they're engaging with your work is enough.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of artists they really want to control the dialogue.
But you can't. You really can't control that.
Yeah.
It's really not possible.
Well, see, I think that's one of the lessons I think art school teaches artists that's wrong is they tell you how to contextualize your work and how to really define it and talk about it. And yet if somebody has a different opinion about it, then the student from the art school is totally lost. They don't know how to deal with that.
Like they failed at their piece.
Well, they feel like they failed, but why can't the viewer just enjoy something on their terms, right?
Right. Well, I think there's you have two relationships with the work, like the relationship you have during the process, and it means whatever it means during that time, and then once you're done with it, you kind of cut loose, set it free, let it set sail, and then it's up to the viewer to finish the sentence or whatever.
Yeah, you seem very liberated in your consciousness, and that's impressive. And obviously, it comes through. It comes through in your work. So we've only got a few minutes left in the show, and it's been a great time. And I've always been a big fan of your work. You know that.
Thank you.
And you've come from such humble roots to just really, being well known on the art scene, having great shows. It's always great to go to your show. There's a fantastic imagination bursting out. But let's see what Vicki Barkley came up with.
Let's see.
They can't hear you. So.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to hold this up to this camera right here.
It is Carol.
I know.
It is
Maybe
Carol.
would you like me to hold it up next to Carol?
Yes, I do. Here, you hold that to Carol. There we go.
It'll be like two Carols together
There you
at
go.
once.
Wait, I got to move the camera. Okay, there we go.
Camera five.
All right, so that's a Vicki Barkley portrait of Carol S. being interviewed, sitting next to Lisa Derrick
the famous show.
on Modern Art
Blitz!
All right, so hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you to Carol S., our wonderful guest. Thanks to Vicki Barkley, who's been sketching away. Thanks to Michael Phillips. Come on back, Michael. Take your shoes off and come on a green screen. Intern Rebecca. It's been a great show tonight.
Hey, Intern
and
Rebecca.
this was our second ever episode.
Did you find that Chris Burden?
He's got his shoes on.
You can walk back there and take your shoes off.
Oh, it's the Chris Burden is in Brazil.
The Chris Burden
it's
in Brazil?
There's
more than one then. There's more than one. What's the matter? Did you fall asleep? Are you injured?
Oh no, it's his shoes.
His shoes. He doesn't want to protect your green screens, folks. So thanks again, Carol. It was a wonderful time.
And it was great
getting to know you. And happy birthday to Rebecca. Your last night as a teenager. Go out and commit some crimes while you're still a teenager. So, all right. What? Oh, you're okay. It's 18. It's not 20. Okay. So you're already going to jail. You're already in trouble. So, all right. So, was this a fun show?
It was. It went so fast.
See your own face. Welcome to California. Place for hopes, a place for dreams, a place for scars, a place for streams. Welcome to Hollywood. Did you come here for a reason, or just because you could? the